From overpriced memberships to a sequel that nobody asked for, this is the rise and fall of Moviestarplanet. Before we begin, as most of you may or may not know, Moviestarplanet actually started off being owned by Cartoon Network, so it was heavily advertised on TV networks like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. Because Cartoon Network owned MSP, they had a lot of not so child-friendly animations like the middle finger and a chainsaw and all these other things, but I actually grew up with these animations before they were removed from the game. First, Cartoon Network owned MSP, and then this company named Moviestarplanet APS owns it now. So the big question now is, what caused the downfall of Moviestarplanet? Drama. You'd have Moviestarplanet Instagram accounts, Twitter accounts, and these accounts were self-proclaimed T accounts, and what they would do is basically update you and tell you things about the MSP content creators in the game. And for the most part, if you were around back then in the early days of MSP, when content was new and fresh, if you weren't in drama, it was definitely other people trying to start drama with you. And I know this because I've seen it time and time again. There has recently been new information that has come out on this YouTube channel known as MSP Conspiracies, which has revealed the truth about these high scorers. And some of these high scorers, you guys, they're not who you guys think they are. They're not who they make themselves out to be. They're actually grown adults who were on this game for the wrong reasons. I do remember the high scorer Pumpkin, or however you say that weird name. I remember she had some beef with Ava, aka Pink Sparkles, for whatever reason. I'm sure it was a very stupid reason. The community was dying a lot of times, and in my opinion, the blame for this is the MSP developers themselves. You want to know why? Because they're too focused on making diamond packs, the expensive memberships that you pay $80 for 1 year. They didn't add anything engaging in the game itself. You know, you had movies, you had the mini games, and the chat rooms, which they kept changing and switching. For why? Nobody asked you guys to change the chat rooms and remove the most iconic one, which was the MSP YouTube one. Because of them wanting to profit off of anybody that plays this game, which is literally just to dress up. I mean, you can't tell me that the only reason you play this game isn't just to dress up your character. The MSP YouTube community was another wasteland, and I say this because it was not pretty and it was pretty toxic. You would have people dissing others, talking badly about how someone else edits. What I didn't like personally was people always saying that this person edits better than this person. You know, like when people put celebrities on a high pedestal, that's kind of what it was like for this community, like people putting editors on a high pedestal because of their editing. I think some people really made people feel terrible about how they edit and how they don't edit. Just comparing their editing to other people, I just didn't like that. You know, it's like you're either making the content for fun or you're making it to try and be better than somebody, which is, why would you do that? That just takes the fun out of it. At that point, you're the problem. You know, you're the problem of what's causing the community to fall and causing people to remove themselves and not want to be part of it. The developers' disconnection from the community. What I mean by this is whoever is running this game, whoever is managing the rules and what goes on in the game, they are not paying attention to the community. There have been massive amounts of glitches, these hackers. If you guys don't know, it was June 2020, May 2020. Basically, these hackers went onto MSP and they decided to go on people's accounts and people on the high score list accounts. What they did was change people's genders and their skin tone and everything and mess up everybody's characters and make them all look the same, and it was terrible. I don't know why they did this. I don't know what they gained from it, but it really just showed MSP doesn't have that high of a security if they're letting people have the ability to hack accounts and nobody knows that it's happening until they get on their account and they're like, why is my account a different gender and a different skin tone and a different everything than it was before? So just to add on to this part of the video, another thing I didn't like was the fact that content creators that made videos on MSP, like myself and many others, even some of the ones that weren't big, you know, just none of us were really recognized by MSP. And there was a rare time where they did recognize creators, but that time is gone. And you know, you kind of really look at those channels and it's like, wow, like some of them have more subscribers than MSP themselves. And I wonder why. You know, maybe it's because of their lack of care and communication and everything for the community. And you know, you give them a recommendation on anything and they just don't take it into account. They don't listen to us. They literally made an update I saw on their Twitter about the new VIP update that where basically they raised the prices for the VIP. Like, who asked for that? So I want to talk about why this is a big deal to me. First of all, I know there's so many of y'all that made videos like me of MSP, and we can relate to this. You know how many all-nighters we would pull when we were in middle school making those MSP series or the MSP versions or the custom animations some of us learn how to do? MSP is a big part, not really a big part, but part of the reason why I decided that I want to study animation at college is literally because of MSP, because I learned how to animate through that game. And it really sucks and it's sad that MSP themselves wouldn't even take the time to have anybody acknowledge the content we spend hours, days, weeks even creating. And it's a problem. It's a big problem. This is definitely worthy of a comparison. You know, Animal Jam, it's another game, by the way, that I grew up playing when I was young. This game, they had content creators themselves, and I was actually planning to make content for that game. But then I made the switch to MSP and I was like, I'm gonna just make MSP content because I wanted to just make content for that game since I grew up with that more and I preferred it more. But anyways, the Animal Jam channel, they have the same amount of subs because they actually put work into getting recognition and like getting more people to their channel and promoting their game, as opposed to MSP. They're letting their game die, and honestly both of their games are gonna die because they only care about the money. And I really hope that the people that are still on the game now can see that they don't care to add anything. I went on the game, I had to go on the game to make some of the parts in this video, and they do not care one bit for any of us or like anybody that grew up. I honestly feel deep inside my heart, when I joined in 2012, which is I believe the time when it was still owned by Cartoon Network because they had the old animations. I believe that when Cartoon Network owned it, they owned it and they loved the game with all of their heart. They gave the game all of its passion and everything. I feel like if Cartoon Network owned it, they would have actually made the game stay alive, and they wouldn't have to rely on the VIP or the clothes to keep the game alive. They would actually add more stuff. Like, they would actually add more to the game itself, and they did. They literally made MSP YouTube chat room. They made all these mini games, the casting mini game. They had Samantha extra, you know, all of this stuff that these devs removed. And that's why the game fell down, because they kept removing things and not listening to the people themselves, not listening to the community, the people. You know, that's the problem. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's tempting to go back and edit, because I would edit like all the time, for the most part, every damn minute of my life. And it got to a point where I was literally daily posting on my Instagram the edits that I would make, and it is tempting to go back. I feel like if I were to go back, it would not be on this channel. It would be on a different channel that you guys would have to, you know, go on your computers to find, and I would literally just come back to make the content as like something to do for fun, also to help out with my animation and all that. That's literally it though. But at the same time, I'm like, I would rather make content for a game that actually cares, that actually adds things to the community, not another, you know, Rockstar Games or MSP. Like, we know that they only care about the money, they don't care about the community, and it shows when you see what they do. And maybe this is why y'all are seeking employment for like everything on your page, because nobody wants to work for your company, because all you guys are about is money. So yeah, that's the tea. You guys wouldn't fix the glitches. You guys didn't listen to us when we said hashtag ListenupMSP in 2020. You guys didn't listen to the community ever, and that's why everything went down. They quite honestly only care about money, and I hope you guys really let that sink into your mind and don't make excuses for them, because you can make as many excuses as you want for the company, for the people behind it, whatever they said in that message in response, it's nothing, because their actions have shown that they don't care. They're like, we hear you, we're gonna fix the glitches, but then they don't fix it. I went on the game, it's still laggy as ever, it's still glitchy as ever. They haven't fixed anything, and I honestly think they never will. And also, something that somebody said, I was looking at comments for videos because I had to do a lot of research for this video. It wasn't a video, it was a Reddit post. Somebody on Reddit, in one of the posts on the Reddit community, said that one of the big reasons that the game probably fell down is because of the fact that Flash Player ended and everybody had to be forced to download the game onto their computers if they wanted to be on the game. I'm thinking about editing because that's all I would do in the game. But literally, if anybody wanted to go on the game, they would have to download the game. And not everybody wants to download MSP on their computer. Let's be honest. It was easier to just go onto your browser, type msp.com, and that's it. But now if the game crashes, you have to close the whole application, reopen it, re-log in. If it crashes, you have to do the same thing again. If it doesn't work, you gotta do the same thing again. And I'm saying this from experience because I had to literally do that a couple times for the making of this video when I went on my account. The game hasn't changed. I've been gone for 2 years and I made a little bit of content in 2021, but then I was like, you know, I'm not gonna make content for this anymore. Not only because of the fact that my old computer was dying, but the game itself was dying, and that's pretty much a sign, like, just leave it in the past. Just leave it in the old times, you know, because it's not the same. This literally took me 6 days and a half to make. I don't know if it was 6 days or it's been like 5 days me editing the video straight. It's over there on the computer. Please do not spend money on this game, because this company, the people that run it now, are scummy, and it was better when Cartoon Network owned it. Now that they don't, after all these years, it ain't worth it. One more thing I wanted to say, thank you to this person right here. When I went on my MSP account, I was AFK, and then I went back to my screen and I saw somebody sent me a random greet. So thank you to the person that sent me that. I'm sorry for you though, because I'm like never gonna play the game like that. I never play the game like that, but thank you. I appreciate you and I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye. So before we go, please go check out these other videos that these other wonderful people have created on MSP and about it. They are really great, and I recommend you guys watch it if you want to know some more. Take care, guys.